Hello everybody, my name is Pyrac, and in today's video I figured I'd do another follow-up to my last Q&A video. Of course, with these Q&A videos, feel free to leave your comments down below, and I'll very likely respond to them with the next video, or if there's not going to be a next video, I will just write it out in the comments. But let's get right into it, of course. Do you think you could ever do like a layered armor review for some full sets of armor, or like have viewer made layered armor reviews? I've seen other YouTubers do it before and it seems pretty fun. I honestly don't care all that much for cosmetics. I really, just really don't. The only reason my character has a certain look to them in both World and Rise is because it's pretty much my branding at this point, since I don't really know what to do with the channel apart from that. I literally have zero interest in looking at armored sets specifically for their looks. Just care about the skills that are with them. And as you mentioned, other YouTubers are doing them, but I don't really see the need to. My opinion is not going to be all that different from theirs. I would love to see some Souls gameplay. Kind of wish you had the second channel to watch you play through Shadow of the Edge. I do actually have some Souls gameplay on the channel. It's for Elden Ring. I think I did like 60 videos on it. It was for PvP, so if you like invasions and watching someone fight 3 to 5 players at the same time, and somehow come out on top without any like broken gear or setups, because I basically just went into invasions with the bare minimum, which is like get vigor up, get enough to use a weapon, and then throw the weapon into some PvP. That's basically all I did. There's like 40 to 60 videos in there. Do keep in mind that was quite a bit earlier in my career. It was a little bit more toxic. That and the environment itself just promotes toxicity, especially with the audience that brought. But yeah, there is actually Souls gameplay if you wanted to see it. I know you're talking about more recent stuff as well as PvE based content. I honestly don't find it all that interesting to watch unless it's like specifically speedrunning or doing a randomizer run. That stuff is fun to watch, but I probably won't end up doing that. Maybe I'll do it on the second channel one day if I like go to play a new Souls game, and I'll just throw it on there instead of slamming out Monster Hunter on here. Maybe we'll see it one day, but I do appreciate the comment. Between the two 5th gen games, oh boy, which do you prefer Monster Hunter fight / moveset design wise overall, and what are your hopes for Wilds in that regard? This question's essentially just asking me which game I prefer out of World and Rise, because it's a very, very common question. Honestly, I hate seeing it because they're completely different games. You shouldn't hate or love one based on what the other is, in my opinion. Why there's so much Rise hate for absolutely no reason. I prefer the combat in Rise. It's a lot more fast-paced, but with it comes the sequencing and the memorization of what monsters do, because it's a lot more consistent than World. Because you'll find a lot of World monsters, they will just throw out an attack, with the rare exception being like Arch-Tempered Volcana, Elatrion, Teostra to a very, very lesser degree, because he can still be random. Vitalis is literally based on where you're standing, he will do stuff. The entire rest of the game, they're not sequence-based. I guess Raging Bracky as well, where he does like his running sweep and then he jumps at you kind of thing. Rise is pretty much that on every single monster. It's fantastic. So the better your knowledge of the fight, the better the time will get. The more creative you are with the fight, the better time you'll get. I prefer Rise, just because I find World's endgame boring as well. What are your hopes for Wilds in that regard? I honestly don't care how Wilds is going to be. Wilds is going to be fantastic. As I said, people shouldn't compare it to the previous games. It is its own game, and Capcom has been very good at doing that with this franchise, where every single game is different to the last one, where they've made improvements every single time. So I'm sure Wilds is going to be fantastic, whichever way they decide to take it. What monsters do you wish to see return from 5th gen in Wilds, and which ones do you wish to not return? I would like to see Malzeno come back, but it's very, very unlikely. Obviously, if we get to see the Vampire Dragon, that'd be sick with the Curios, but I'm not sure how they would kind of make his skill actually a reality again, because it requires like swapping scrolls, which we obviously won't have. Maybe it'll just be passive, who knows. So yeah, I'd like to see Malzeno come back. I'd love to see Nergigante again. I'd also like to see Arch-Tempered Volcana, specifically the one from World, because Rise's Volcana is kind of an abomination in comparison. But again, that kind of goes with what I said earlier. Shouldn't really compare the two games, because they are still different games. As for which one I don't want to see return, this is a tough question, because I know that every single monster has a person that finds it to be their favorite, and is going to offend someone. Oh, I'd also like to see Beatotus come back. I think he was cool. He's like my favorite Piscine, basically. Probably World's version of Lavasioth. I really don't want to see him come back. Thoughts on the changes to Charge Blade and Wilds? I haven't seen anything more from the Wilds trailers. Like, I've only kept to the Wilds trailers. I haven't watched gameplay or demos, because I'd rather just experience it myself when it comes out, because we will probably get a demo at some point. Would you do a randomizer? Sadly, mods are being, like, basically forsaken, thanks to a few different people saying, oh, I've been banned for this, so I just don't touch mods anymore. So no, I probably wouldn't do a randomizer. What was your favorite Ark creature? For those that didn't know, I used to play a lot of Ark. It was actually one of the first things I recorded on the channel. I think it went for like 5 or 8 videos. I did a couple guides on it and that was it. My favorite Ark creature is probably Baryonyx. It's like a very, very reliable creature. He's not that tanky, unfortunately, so like a basic T-Rex could easily take him down, unless you're in the water, which is where the strength of it lies. You just use his paralysis repeatedly. So probably Baryonyx. That or Dimorphodons. They're fun as well. You get like an army of 50 of them. Basically take on whatever you want. Unless you enrage a Giga, then it gets really ugly really quick. What weapon you will use in Wild, plus you will speedrun to the end game? I'm assuming you're asking what weapon I'm using in Wilds and will I speedrun to the end of the game? The answer is Charge Blade. I think I've said this like 4 or 5 different times now. I'm going to be using Charge Blade to begin with. I don't know if it's going to be my main. I'll have to find out when I play it. If I enjoy it, I'm going to play it. And will I speedrun to the end game? Absolutely not. Why would I speedrun to the end game? That's a very silly thing to ask. I love Monster Hunter. Why would I want to leave it quicker than normal? I'm just going to play through it. If I get to the end in, what, 2-3 days? I get to the end in 2-3 days. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to farm out monsters and then help my friends also farm out monsters if they're playing. Get sets I want, and it'll be done. Well, everybody, that was another Q&A video. Quite a few interesting topics in this one. A little bit more about like different content apart from Monster Hunter, which I personally like to see. Obviously, I play Monster Hunter daily anyway, so I'd like to see something different. As always, if you all want to leave your comments down in the comment section for the next video, feel free to do so. I will hopefully respond to most of them, if not all of them, in the next Q&A video if there is one. If not, I'll just respond to them in the comments themselves. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.